Okay, we're alive.
Call the meeting to order 6:02. Pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. From. Here. Kiel. Excuse. Broker.
Here.
Schutte. Excuse. Krieger.
Here.
Doctor.
Here.
4 present, 2 excused. Approve the minutes of the September 23rd.
Second.
Motion by Krieger, second by Doctor to approve the minutes for September 23rd, 2025 City Council meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public comment. We got public comment tonight? Nothing? Consideration of mayor's appointments for city hall staff, title changes.
Yep, as discussed at 2 prior committee of the whole meetings, looking to split the roles from city clerk treasurer and deputy clerk treasurer to simply city clerk and city treasurer.
Sarah Preisner is currently at 3076.
Correct. She was bumped up when she took over the role as full city clerk. She was deputy prior to that, and when the prior city clerk left us, Sarah stepped in that role, and you approved the pay change at that time.
I'll make a motion to approve that one.
And we want to do both of them, you got these both on?
I would do these
So
separately.
both separate?
Appropriate.
Okay,
Separate.
John? Need a second?
I made a motion to
Right.
approve Sarah Preisner.
Motion by Broker, second by From to approve Sarah Preisner's current rate of $30.76 per hour.
As city clerk.
As
That's
city clerk.
correct. Roll call. From,
Yes.
Gill, Broker,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Doctor.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. And the second was Nancy.
Nancy Kleinon's a city treasurer, same pay rate as Sarah, and as discussed at committee, I've been requesting it be retroactive to July 1st based on the work she's done, taking on the additional staff. The additional one.
I would like to remind the council that a little more than 3 years ago, the treasurer position was a part-time position. And prior to that, the person that held that part-time position retired, and that position was assumed and shared between the then deputy clerk and the utilities clerk. And when they took on that role, that extra work, shared it, and they received no pay increase at that time. I understand that the rules are changing a little bit now. There's going to be more sharing and mutual backup in case it's needed, but I don't feel that this is appropriate to jump that much that fast on this one.
Is this the treasure one?
Yes.
Correct.
What is the present rate now?
Her current rate is 26.28, which was similar to what Sarah was at when she was bumped to city clerk, so I use the same logic.
Correct. Any other discussion? Anybody else?
I don't know about the rate itself. I don't necessarily understand what each of them do, other than they both work full-time, they back each other up, they're both cross-trained. It's hard to necessarily separate what makes the clerk and the treasurer, because the role's been the same for 4 years now, has it been a clerk treasurer? And I mean, prior to that, it was an administrator clerk, and a deputy clerk. So I mean, what the, precisely the roles and whether the rate should be exactly the same is probably some, I agree with John, I'm not sure about that, but I'm definitely opposed to retroactive.
Okay,
Just in that the title wasn't there, right? I mean, whether she was overachieving, that's great if she was, but don't necessarily go back and pay somebody that.
she didn't ask for it, I recommended it.
Yep, I understand.
And I guess I'm confused why you wouldn't understand the rules. I provided the committee, at the committee meetings with job descriptions, clearly defining what the job duties were. And so that indicates to me that you didn't read it.
I kind of agree too, it committee of a whole, nobody said a word about it.
Nobody said a word.
So I'm kind of confused myself, but that's, so what are you proposing, just that, what, that 3076 now, effective when or what?
Would the council at least approve
Yeah.
the position of city treasurer at the current rate of pay with further discussion at year's end? And no retroactive? Or are you opposed to the position altogether?
I would be in favor of, no, I'm in favor of the position. I would be more inclined to be in favor of more of a tiered, graduated wage increase with revisiting it at maybe quarterly to get her to this point a little bit later. These are relatively new employees out there yet too.
Hopefully we keep what we
Yeah,
have.
understand.
Right, I mean,
Thing is, where do they go from 30?
I'd have to check that scale. That's not the top scale.
It's not.
It's not at the top.
that would get a 3% raise.
Correct. So would you entertain a motion then to accept Nancy Clennons as city treasurer at her current rate of pay with future increases as determined? Amend it, or?
I'm not opposed to that either, don't get me wrong. But the only other thing about just matching them, right, is are you setting them up for, now we match, they know what each other make, right, they do the payroll, it's all public anyway,
Mhm.
right? I mean, as soon as you tie two people together, how do you untie them someday if you want to? Right, if one progresses and the other doesn't, now you got a little bit of angst, potentially, right? That's the only other thing I would want to mention, but other than that, you have to decide, is the clerk a higher value position than the treasurer or vice versa? And, yeah, apparently I didn't read Mel, to know exactly what each one is responsible for.
What is
Could we
Debbie's
look at
title?
the current wage band? I think it's worth it if we want to move forward at least somewhat tonight on this. I'm inclined to do a little bit of increase here this evening.
So that would be about $1 a quarter. If you want to do it a year, was that what you're thinking? Can you get it up to that, or you said a quarter? Like,
And then revisit it at like the first of the year again.
This is the 2025 wage band, 2817 to 3464,
And she's only at 26, 28.
because she was hired as an administrative assistant in the lower tier.
Well, I would make a motion then to get her at least to the 2817 right now, and then reconsider, let's say at our first scheduled meeting in January for additional,
Are you
as
going,
well as approving her as a city treasurer.
John, are you going back to July 1st?
No. I don't think that's a good precedent.
But it's been done.
Yeah.
But then you can't use, it's not a good precedent if it's been done.
I don't like the practice.
Okay, well then say that. Don't say you don't want to set a precedent when the city's done that.
Fine, I make the motion to approve the mayor's appointment of Nancy Klein, unsaid city treasurer at at a rate of 2817 effective immediately.
Oh, my God.
I'll second that.
Motion by Broker, second by From to approve Nancy Klein as the city treasurer at the pay rate of $28.17 and reconsider in January and retroactive today to $28.17.
I'll include that as, no retroactive.
No retroactive, just the $28.17.
And revisit in
And
January.
effective immediately, got it.
Yes.
Okay.
What was their hire date?
I'd have to look it up in
Roughly March.
March, mid-March.
Sarah was hired first, though.
Correct.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Roll call. From,
Yes.
Broker,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Actor,
No.
motion carries 3-1.
Thank you.
Consideration of ordinance 632, amending chapter 1 of general government.
That is an ordinance related directly to what we just discussed, creating the two separate positions of clerk and treasurer.
Motion to amend the 632 ordinance with the treasurer and the clerk separated as positions.
I can second that.
Motion by Actor, second by Broker to separate the city clerk and the city treasurer
Just approving ordinance
and
632.
approve the ordinance chapter 1 of the general government, number 632. All in favor?
Roll
Yes,
call.
I'm
Roll call.
Roll call.
Roll call? Okay. From,
Yes.
Broker,
Yes.
Shooty,
Yes.
Krieger, Actor.
Yes.
No shitty.
No, Shooty, sorry, 4-0. We'll get it
Voice
right.
is changing.
Yeah, right, 4-0.
Shitty, aye.
Okay, consideration of ordinance 633, chapter 19 of mandatory recycling.
Yeah, this is all prompted by the state of Wisconsin to change mostly a lot of our definitions of what everything is determined to be called. It's a lot of cleanup work. For instance, you can see the cross out, this one, for example, instead of steel or tin cans, we had to change it to bimetal. Instead of just plastic containers, we had to add rigid plastic containers. So exciting reading for all involved, but it brings us in line under the state mandatory recycling act.
Motion to adopt and approve the changes to ordinance 633, chapter 19 for mandatory recycling as proposed.
Second.
Motion by Broker, second by Krieger to approve the ordinance 633, chapter 19 for mandatory recycling. All in favor? Roll call.
Roll call.
From,
Yes.
Broker,
Yes.
Shooty, Sanat, Krieger. Here. Actor.
Yes.
Motion carries 4-0. Consideration of Class A liquor license for Holland Town Mini Mart.
Same as the one we did with the Kiel Co-op a couple weeks ago. They're reorganizing, and because of that, they're changing the legal business name to Hollandtown Mini Mart LLC, so that requires under Department of Revenue that they change it on the entire application, so they have to reapply. So no changes to the original application that they filed and was approved previously. They just have a name change. Same owners.
Motion to approve the liquor license application change for Hollandtown Mini Mart LLC.
Second. Roll call.
Motion by Broker, second by From to approve the Class A liquor license for Holland Town Mini Mart LLC, formerly Kiel Amico. Roll call. From,
Yes.
Kiel, now your Broker,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Actor.
Yes.
4-0, motion carried. Consideration of Chief Jetty's request to attend Command College.
Yep, he made the request as committee of the whole. It's the annual training, leadership training, part of being alumni of the Wisconsin Command College.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by From, second by Actor for approve Chief Janty's request to attend Wisconsin Command College Leadership. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Yeah, Actor.
Thank you.
Consideration of contract for Brightwood Building Services. Kay and Jim are here tonight to talk about it.
Yeah, we discussed this at committee of the whole, and at your direction, I met with Kay and Jim. They didn't call you Kim and Jay, so I apologize. I'll probably do that again, but told them that we were looking at other options, including potentially full-time custodian. Asked them to take the time and talk about it themselves over the weekend, see if they would be open to potentially extending it. They reached out yesterday via an email and asked to come and address it with the council tonight, so it's all yours.
And we, first of all, I'd like to say, we've been very grateful for the contract that we've had for the last 15 years. And we just hope that we've fulfilled our obligations. And so we're very thankful for the contract. We would, our proposal was to renew for an additional 3 years. The reason that it had increased is we increased the hourly rate from, I believe it was what, 35 to 39. And so we dropped the snow because we'd like, I'm going to be 68 in December, and it's not like I can't handle it physically, but it gets to the point when you just don't want to handle it anymore, getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and shoveling. It wears on you a little bit. So we wanted to drop the snow, and we understand that the snow contract is going to be picked up, if it were to be picked up by another contractor. We checked around and found that the pricing was just locally. Kay just had a conversation with somebody who does this here in Kiel, and he said that his rate was closer to $80 an hour with
85 to 100 actually.
with his equipment. So when we looked at our dropping the snow, I think we gave up. We were doing the city hall, the library, the community center, the bridge, the fire department. Am I missing anything?
Police department.
And police department. And we charged $150 per person or per time that we shoveled or that we cleared snow. That was $150 per time.
For all the facilities.
All the facilities. And
That's
so,
not include, I mean, the city provided the equipment, so.
and so if we go at it as hard as we can, let's say on a 4-inch snowfall, it takes us a minimum of 4 hours to complete everything. And I would honestly put a shovel in Kay's hand and have her compete against any one of the city guys. You know, it's hard for me to keep up with her once in a while for shoveling. So when we do the snow, we don't like it, and we like to do it as fast as we possibly can. And it does take us it takes us a solid 4 hours, and we were charging $150 for all of the buildings and the bridge got wider. And now that the railings on the bridge are the way they are, they trap a lot more snow on the bridge than ever before. So it's been a little, and you can't take the snowblower over the bridge because of the boards. You get hung up on all the boards. So for the most part, we mostly shovel the bridge. So I understand that our contract went up that much, and when you look at hiring someone to do it, I'd also encourage you to look at the scope of the work that we have listed. So there's not just the cleaning and the snow and the lawn, but there's Kay orders all the supplies. She launders the towels here at City Hall, at the police department and at the fire department, and then brings those back. She launders mops. Dry mops get laundered, so that we can reuse those. So there's a lot of, it's a lot of, many facets, so, of the job, and not just cleaning and snow and lawn mowing. So when we looked at the $39 per hour, I did a little checking with the, oh, here, we have it. So this is the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Total employer compensation costs for state and local government workers averaged $63.94 per hour, worked in June 2025. Wages and salaries averaged $39.31 per hour and accounted for 61.5% of employer costs, while benefits costs averaged $24.63 an hour. And that's for the compensation cost for state and local government. I don't know what it is here, I'm not sure, but on average, it's the compensation over the wages is $24 an hour. I don't know how that works out here in Kiel, but I would imagine that over the salary that you pay or the wages that you pay, you're paying a considerable amount over that for the benefits yet besides. So Kay and I don't take vacations, and we don't take break. We don't. When the library calls at 7 o'clock at night and says our toilet is overflowing, we go and we take care of it. And it's not something that we do it. We don't argue about it because we know that's part of our job. Kay and I both came from farm families, so it's not we've not really ever looked at hourly rates before. This forced us to look at hourly rates just to see where we thought we would want to be to renew the contract. But quitting isn't something that we do, so we're not gonna, I think because we want the 3-year renewal isn't necessarily for the money. Kay and I always looked at each other. I'm still working full-time, and we always looked at each other like, we've seen friends that have retired, and and we look at each other like, what do they do all day? And because we're constantly working, that's our constitution. Is that I think a lot of times instead of a vacation, we think, well, we could stay home and we could work on fixing the fence or painting the barn or do something like that. So it's not so much the money that we have to have the money, but it's just that we're not ready to retire yet, and that we still think that we could be of value to the city of Kiel, and hope that you would feel the same way.
And if I could add, the snow, I think if we had different equipment, it would help the snow a little bit because it would go faster. But the other thing is the buildings, say you had snow 2 days in a row. From the first day, you've got salt and everything that's tracked in every building. So besides trying to get that cleaned up before every building opens, we're also doing the snow. So it's like doing 8 hours worth of work and you have to get it done and get here at 3, you've got almost 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah, there's mornings that we put in 10 hours before 8 o'clock, just because Kay will get started here, and then I'll go out and I'll start shoveling. It's a lot of handwork because of the stairs and stuff like that. But we certainly we'd like to get rid of the snow. But and we talked early on, really, when Dennis was here and when Jamie was here too, that hey, what if we did from the doors to the street, and then the city, because they've got They've got heated cabs and snow blowers and brushes and whatnot, if they were to do the municipal sidewalks. So we could get the buildings open to the street, and then if the city could do the municipal sidewalks, it takes them minutes with the equipment that they have.
But I know you want them in the trucks, so I get that too. So, I don't know, I guess I just wanted to let you know where we're coming from. We're open, and if it's something you want to move forward with someone else and just get another city employee, we certainly understand that.
We sure, yeah, we understand. We appreciate it.
Well, as I explained to you on Friday, your quality of work and your tasks and the job you do was never in doubt. Never questioned. Everybody spoke very highly of what you do, and I love working with both of you. You've been great.
So, and we can lower the rate a little bit. It just seems like.
And we
like,
get,
I
and we get, and we get.
laughed at actually for what we're charging. Like we were ridiculously low, and I thought, boy, I was trying to stay under $40 an hour, and we've really tried to be, I thought, extra fair with the city, and I get it from your end. So.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something that you could handle in-house and it's something that you can handle cheaper, less expensively in-house, that it's a matter of money, and we understand that completely.
Yeah, the current proposal, just the first year at $77,400 without snow, then the city's going to look at having to contract out the snow as well. So we're pushing, close to $90,000 by the time we're, as a rough
Like I
estimate.
said, we can look back at it. I don't know, what did you get, can I ask, what did you get for a snow contract price?
We can't discuss the bids because the bids weren't even acted on. We got one bid, I can publicly say that, but that's where this whole discussion got started, so.
What do you have for equipment, city equipment to do what you do with the snow?
There's two
Single stage snow blowers and then countless shovels.
separate.
Yeah.
They wear out, so then you put it back, you might need the handle.
We've been trying to get,
shovel.
because the shovels are expensive, we've been trying to get keep the handle and see if we can get a cheaper, or get a replacement, because we've been wearing out the shovels, and they're like, what, 45 or 50 bucks a piece? It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So there are a couple, like this building usually in the library, or even the community center, we might need one new shovel every year because it gets too worn off. It doesn't, you're into the little grooves and it doesn't clean it anymore.
And then Mike at Conan, he services them. So with the biggest part of service on are the paddles. They wear out, and then the scraper bar on the bottom of them. They're amazing little machines, I have to say. And there's also the two-stage, but we only drag the two-stage out if we get a huge snowfall, because otherwise it's way too slow.
And I changed the paddles out. I tried it. They go like backwards. I just got too frustrated. I tried.
But we've had them since we started, I think, and they still perform really very well.
I agree with Dave on how good of a job we do. I get to the fire station every day and I see Kay down there three times a week, maybe?
Yeah, at least two.
At least?
Sometimes three.
I mean, the floors down there look like they were when we went into the new edition in 2011. It's gonna be, I don't know, and snowstorms, you have this stuff shoveled out before we get there in the morning.
Generally, and sometimes some of the crew, the EMS people that are down
Sometimes
there
they do
now.
it.
Yeah, Sue and I think, is it Andy?
Yeah. Jared
He's already
does it once in a while on the speed.
Yeah, so there's occasions where they either have a small walk done, if you guys had to call in the morning, or somebody's taking the liberty on a nice day and cleaned everything up, so that's.
Yeah, we used to do it at PD too, I think, to show them, just help out. Because I feel bad, I look at you and you're buried in the front here, I'm like, I'll do the back, We meet in the middle sometimes.
Yeah, everything's salted nice so the guys don't fall down or going in there, running in there.
We try and keep the salt down,
Yeah.
because it gets drug in,
Right.
and then it takes a toll on all the floors
Yeah.
here. So we try to scrape it down as far as we can, so we don't have to use so much salt, and it saves us too for cleaning in here too. So.
And I have to say, I have looked at snow equipment, thinking if we did the contract this year, you know, I would want to get a piece of equipment, so I have looked at something used. I thought it's for our meeting tonight, and then based on where you guys want to be at, I would look at something tomorrow or Thursday.
You guys would buy that, you mean, or what? Or
Yeah, we'd just buy it and probably sell it after the contract's up. It's a John Deere used, it's, I don't know the model. But anyway, it's a rear steer, so you've got it's 4-wheel drive, has a sweeper blade, or a sweeper and a snow blower attachment. But we had a lawnmower that we got here at home, and it came with a blower and a sweeper, and I thought, hey, we can maybe use it in winter at the city of Kiel. We brought it one year, and because it's only rear-wheel drive,
Yeah, you're sliding.
well,
over.
we were spinning. I thought somebody's gonna fly and hit a building here, you know, so that was like off the table. So we tried it. But, and then we just, it's like, should we, shouldn't we? We've hedged with that for a long time already. But I think we had to stay with it just in the essence of time. I'd rather get the buildings cleaned up. I just, you know, like, even Missy at the community center, she'll say, oh, just leave it, it's fine, you know, you can just get your snow done. But I said, really, Missy, do you want to walk in and see all these salt blocks? It just looks bad. You know, you walk in yourself, you don't feel like starting your day. I guess I try to put myself in somebody else's shoes. You know, people come in to play cards or do whatever, and it just looks like you're coming into something dirty. And nobody likes to walk into a restaurant when it's all dirty.
Well, those comments right there, okay, it shows your professionalism.
Right.
Because people in Wisconsin are pretty much used to walking into anywhere and seeing a mess, and from about January to March, things are just messy, but you've always been key to those attentive to details, so.
so if you get that machine you're talking about, you would be willing to do it for a year yet, or how, what is your thought, what are your thoughts?
Well,
I would do it for a year and see what, if you guys wanted to extend it, you know, that's really, it's, if you need somebody on the street, you know, I guess another, different thoughts go through my head. I look at it like a business, or I look at it like if I were you, or whatever. And then I think, you know, if it's really extra plowing you need, I was thinking there's, like Wallstorp Roofing is just one company, but there's other companies that are seasonal. And they've got people laid off in the winter time, and I know like county workers, sometimes they'll have somebody come in that's just part-time, and they just do part-time, they help with snow. Where if snow is your thing, you need more help with snow, you know, if you got a part-time person to come in to help you, rather than hiring a full-time, then maybe you need a full-time person. You know, that's something only the city knows.
But there's like Saturday and Sunday work too, if like the library, if it's snowing, we gotta get there, it's, you know, Saturday morning before they open, and the jazzercisers here are here at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning, so that's gotta get shoveled out for them. And
Or
then,
we've done it, you know, and then maybe they shovel their own, you know,
And
it can be a whole policy change, you know, so.
but then, and then you get your renters at the community center, and we gotta open up for renters when they're there too, so.
So you'd be willing to do it for that the first 77.4 on here, is that what you'd?
That doesn't include the snow removal.
That doesn't
So you'd
include
be
the snow
talking
removal?
about revising that?
Well, we
Yeah.
can
Probably make that
we
work.
can, yeah. We could take a look at it, but we can come down on, you know, if we, like I say, even if we just shovel to the street, and then have the municipality, and I know how that is, because I know those guys are busy, you guys like to have all your sidewalks open before you open, so I understand that too, so.
What are we paying now, do you know, for your contract, what are we paying now with the soil? I don't really know what it
I
is.
think it's 69.
69?
It's right around, yeah, right around 70, I think it's 69.
That's close enough that it's so not.
And it seemed like over COVID, it seemed like everything kind of took hikes. You know, the insurance.
Well, insurance went stupid.
You know,
Yeah.
it's the whole, everybody's experienced it. So I guess that's where we were looking at, you know, maybe if we went up, you know, it's like, where do you go? Really, we should be at 40, or we should really be higher, I was told. But anyway, so if I had to say, I'd like, my goal was to get closer to 40, but, you know, if we could be at 38, 39, you know, to make it work, you know, just add that in. I guess I'd have to just go through it tonight and take a look at a machine maybe tomorrow, and then maybe a better idea.
Well, I really think though the city should buy that tool, huh?
So,
I don't see that they should have to purchase that, right?
Well, with the lawnmower, we get the one from the, when they got a new lawnmower for the cemetery, then we get the lawnmower that, and then it got to be, it took like 4 hours to do the lawn over at the community center, because we were doing the community center and the library and the whole thing. It took like 4 hours to do it. So it was getting to be just that. So it was just taking too long. So then we got that Kubota rear steer that's out there right now, and that's what, and it sped things up quite a bit.
Well, actually, the city went back, if I back up a little bit, the city took the old cemetery mower then and traded it in for a new mower for the city guys.
Yeah.
And then we just went and just did our own thing, because the push mower went as fast as the riding mower. But I just wanted to upgrade.
So we do charge a rental rate on the lawnmower. So there's so it's a rental rate that we I don't know, what is that on the lawnmower? 25 an hour on the lawnmower.
So you're willing to go back in and do the snow removal and the lawn cutting then at the extra rates?
I would look at it, if I can get a piece of equipment to help with the snow, but by doing it by hand, it's, like I say, it's just
There's
it's
still a
such
lot of
rush.
handwork,
I
but
know,
it's just
but
that we could get the municipal sidewalks done pretty much more quickly.
The only other question I have, and you brought up some intriguing points there from your study and your research. What, Dave, if you had to put your finger on it, what do you think that we would pay for a total benefit package, health insurance and all the other perks? Maybe throw a little bit in there for vacation, and then also the retirement system.
Close to that number.
$24.
An hour with just using 25 an hour, and then an estimate of benefits, purely top of my head, quick snatch, would be close to what their contract is asking for a full-time employee. So,
And then we'd be starting over, and then there'd be question marks, and then, okay, now, are you looking at scheduling a
Correct.
person Monday through Friday? And to their point, you get a snow event on a
And it's
Saturday, and
overtime.
we've got,
there's pros and cons to both, absolutely.
There are.
somebody wants to use the community center, and the library's got some hours, and then there we sit.
Yep.
So then if that person, even if a new hire would be willing to work it, now you're paying overtime.
And overtime, and their cost's gonna go up as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no clear win for anything here
Right.
at all. So,
Right.
and I completely understand why they wouldn't want to continue to do the snow work. It's a laborious task for them both to be out there. I come, as everybody knows, I'm here early. I see you out there. Here at sometimes 5:30, and in the winter, they're out there and they've already been there for an hour.
Would you envision 3 years though being, that would be pretty much the end of it?
I couldn't say that. I don't feel, like I say, I'll be 68 in December, and I go to work every day. I love it.
You don't look a day over 67.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I really enjoy it. I need to wake up and be able to, yeah. A friend of mine retired a few years back. And I didn't think he was 65, he was 70. And he was a seed salesman. He went 90 miles an hour all the time. He was amazing, in great shape. I saw him 2 years later, he looked like he was 85. And
He
I
stopped
said,
moving.
I said, "Gene, what's going on?" And he said, retirement was the worst thing I ever did. And he said, you know when I knew it? That first damn morning. He said, I woke up and I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. And it went on like that for 2 years. He said, then I got sick, I went to the doctor, and he said, that doctor stuck his finger in my face, and he said, I got a prescription for you. He said, a daily schedule, a weekly schedule, a monthly schedule, and if you can schedule out farther than that, then do it. He said, or schedule your funeral. And
He did die of Alzheimer's shortly
it
after
took him,
that.
it just took him down. I'm kind of that way. I need to be able to, I don't have that thing yet at home that's gonna get me up and keep me intrigued all day. And what I do for a living right now keeps me, I've got to do a lot of thinking, I got to do a lot of physical stuff, and I would prefer to do that. So, in case somewhat the same way, it's just we're just too busy to want to not be busy.
Well, could we table this for 2 weeks, and bring it up again on the 28th, and let them have time to look at things over, and let me work and come up with some options?
I'm inclined to agree with you, and then you can fill us in more as to what that one right type of piece of equipment will
Yep.
be. That will be the best universal tool for you to minimize how much time you have to invest, both summer and winter.
We could bring that cost back to this body it might be a worthwhile investment for the city long-term, to keep something like that available.
I mean, if we decided on something, you see if the city even likes it, you know. and
Right.
then you can just-
Well, it would also give me time to talk with our DPW staff, to
Yeah,
talk about
I was
the,
gonna say,
you're going from doorway to sidewalk, how problematic would it be to shift somebody to
Yeah.
quickly do this and, to hit the sidewalks right away?
Yeah.
Because they usually do that as part of cleanup later on,
And it's usually-
when they do the other trails and everything else. That's their priority, and they have a lot of work to do with just 4 drivers to do the entire city before the school bus. On school days, their priority is to hit all the school routes, the school zones, to make sure those are safe for everybody. So, yeah, that sounds great. I think that's a great idea. We just table it.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what Dave and the mayor, and I think the rest of us feel, is that you take care of our facilities, bar none,
Yes.
perfectly.
Thank you, we appreciate that.
Yep.
Thanks for
I
calling.
know, busy down at there, firehouse every couple of days, he was in there or something. Yeah. We need a motion to table, or just, okay. All favor?
Further discussion?
You want a motion?
We should probably.
Yeah, I'll make a motion and that we table number 11 and discuss the Briarwood Building Services contract in 2 weeks.
Sec-
Motion by From, second by Broker to table the contract for Briarwood Building Service LLC. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. Consideration EMS captain for Kiel Fire EMS for the ambulance.
Yeah, that was discussed in length by EMS Chief Isley at the committee of the whole.
Motion to approve creating the EMS captain position for the Kiel Fire EMS at a rate of $208.33 per month, effective December 1, 2025.
Second. Motion by Broker, seconded by Krieger to approve the EMS captain position for the Kiel Fire EMS department at the rate of $208.33 per month, effective December 1st, 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0. This is good, yeah. Consideration resignation of Dave Funkhauser of the Kiel City Administrator, effective December 5th.
My letter's in the packet.
Yeah, we saw it. My only concern here, and I sat down with Dave last week, Wednesday. The mayor was present. I expressed my displeasure that we weren't informed as immediately after the mayor was. They got it. But then I asked some questions regarding what influenced his decision. And one of the first and foremost reasons, outside of his great opportunity he has to return to a former employer, is that there's a feeling amongst a lot of city employees that this council is condescending in its attitude towards our employees. I'm deeply concerned about that. It affects our reputation and our ability to hire people. We can't have that.
I agree, we hire an administrator to do that job, and I think he has enough to do during the day without having to put up with a lot of, not, I shouldn't say put up with, answer a lot of different questions from, and I have had nothing but praise for him since I've only been here 5-6 months now, and I was very, I could tell that something was bothering him for a while already, so. But I will miss what he brought to the city. I know
Thank you.
for, when he was police chief, he did everything. He was just a good guy. Like, sorry to see him leave, but it's,
He has led us out of a lot of crises
yes,
with
I agree.
dignity, honor, and appreciate the services he has provided and rendered to all of us.
And with the budgets, we've never had better stuff, I mean, answers to budgets and stuff than we do now. And thank him for that, but because we missed. Well, it's a lot better.
Transparency.
Yeah.
Always trying to do it. I
So,
appreciate it.
that's all I can say about that stuff.
Make a motion to regretfully accept the resignation of Dave Funkhauser as Kiel City Administrator, effective December 5, 2025.
Motion by Broker, second by Fromm, to accept the resignation of Dave Funkhauser as Kiel City Administrator, effective December 5th, 2025. Roll call. Fromm?
Yes.
Broker?
Yes.
Krieger?
No.
Krieger, no. 3-1.
I'll
Motion.
vote
You
on
gotta
it.
get out there.
What's it?
Can I have a vote?
Oh, yeah, sorry about that, Cal.
I would say no also. I really would miss Dave. I
the
asked
type of-
everybody to give him a chance to have,
I
patience, and
yeah, I voted also to keep Dave here. But it's up to you, I mean, it's,
He made his decision, in other words.
Yes.
Yes.
so,
I can't continue in this culture. I wasn't welcomed, not as a whole. But before I even started, there were negative comments from members of this body about me publicly made. My very first day, an alderman came into my office, my first day, didn't even welcome me back, say hello, pointed at me with witnesses present, and said, I voted for you, but I have no confidence or faith in your ability to do this job. I almost resigned on the spot. So if you want to talk about someone that's going to come in and replace me, this council and their attitude towards the administrative position and the employees as a whole needs to change. I teach culture and organizations and leadership. You've given me a lot of material to talk about. I am just, boundaries, there are no boundaries. My phone, 24/7, 11 o'clock at night, I'm getting texts on things that don't need. There have to be boundaries established where people are allowed to have their personal life, professional life at the same time. And the most recent incident with the bid and being falsely accused without any merit or any evidence whatsoever of basically what is a felony was the final push over the edge. I came back to the city to serve my community. I gave up a very good position in the private sector, well paid, and I suspended my retirement. There's a false myth that I've been collecting my retirement double dipping. That is not the truth. I took a significant cut in pay and financial quality of life because I love this community, I wanted to serve it. I can no longer do that. As my beautiful wife said, you've given nearly 20 years to that community, it's time to be a little selfish, to take care of your family and yourself. To the point that the stress was affecting me physically. The mayor knows this, and I had to go and get checked out. And that's not right. And this council needs to take an inside, internal look at itself and wonder why you've had 3 administrators in 3 years. So there's things that need to change. And if you're stunned and confused by this, that's even more disturbing. Because there's more that goes on emails and questioning. You have to stop looking at your employees like they're always doing something wrong. They're good, hardworking people. The staff of the city is amazing. I cannot speak highly enough about them. We work so well together, and the teams cooperate together. Even in some of the darkest times that the city's been through, I've been blown away, brought to tears by how well this community and these people employed in the city work together. And they are underappreciated, and they're not treated well. And that's my statement.
I'll go on the record as saying some of this does stun and blow me away. I didn't know this was coming. I mean, I realized you resigned last week. Some of the stuff that you just said does stun me. I don't know exactly what to say other than who, what, please tell us the great stories, or not the great stories, but the full stories. I know that's not coming out tonight. I don't know if it's ever coming out, but some of that would be, some of that would be good to know if we are to grow and improve. We're going to need to know some of the particulars of where that has to happen, other than just culture, because I've lived my whole life in this town. I've been in this city council for a good while now. And to say that we have some sort of toxic environment right here in this room, that does honestly surprise me. So,
Well, you need to do exit interviews with the last two administrators, because I think you'll find a consistent answer.
I guess we do need to do that.
I think that was my first thought when I talked to Dave about that, was we need to find out why. I mean, that is not normal to have. That might even be 4 and 5 of how many, like I said before, I had enough.
It's not so much the questions, as I told Alderman Broker, when questions are asked, you have every right to ask questions. But when the first words out of your mouth are degrading and demeaning and demanding, that's inappropriate. When phone calls are made and blah, 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 to the point where I witnessed a former employee brought to tears from a simple phone call on something that, it was absolutely ridiculous that it was even brought to an emotional state. And it was disturbing. And then when I brought and put an end to it and stopped it, I was told that, well, apologize to them for me. No, that you need to apologize. If you're going to act this way, you need to apologize yourself. But that is just drops of water going into the cup, and I kept dumping that cup out. And Mayor Hennings is right. He could see it. He was asking me almost weekly if I was doing okay. And to please hang in there, Alderman Octor, you've been phenomenal. You've checked on me numerous times and begged me to hang on because you could feel it as well. So I think what this council truly needs is to understand what its roles are as representatives of the citizens. You have a legislative and policy-making role. And I would encourage you to reach out to the league and talk to the League of Municipalities about some of their education materials they have of establishing boundaries of what elected officials do at this level. The mayor by position, whether it be Bob Hennings or Mike Steiner or Bob Warrior before him, is the CEO of the city and should be running personnel matters. There should be no direct contact unless absolutely necessary with employees of the city. Every employee of the city reports to a department head. And you hire these people, you need to trust them and let them do their jobs. And not going with the mindset that they're up to something until they prove that they need that oversight and that micromanagement. And that's disturbing. It's bothersome, and it weighs heavily on all the department heads. And whether they'll admit it or not, I know they do. I felt it as chief numerous times too. But you need to change the culture of this environment and the way it reflects onto your staff. That the mayor has taken it upon himself yesterday. He asked Chris and I if we could start talking to staff, and we respect that asking us in the first place, but then allowing him time to look into it, talk to the staff, and feedback to his community or what's going on, and feedback to this council as far as how the line flows. I met with one and talked with one today with one of our other departments, and he said that they know that the department heads are the insulators to a lot of what we get from this body. There are some things that we don't know, but I could go on and on and on. You want examples? I could bore you to death with examples of where it's just like, are you serious? 11 o'clock at night, and we're receiving text messages that are scrolls of non-emergency matters, and I was told, well, turn your phone off then. I can't turn my phone off. I'm the city administrator. I'm part of emergency government. They need to be able to reach me if there's an actual emergency, you know? But you need to let the people you hire questioning, when the police chief discovers a savings of $18,000 on a purchase, and then I agreeing with it, and then being chastised because we saved the city $18,000, that's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And to say that we should have called an emergency or a special meeting of the council during the holidays for one agenda item, when the item was already approved in the budget for financing, absolutely backwards. But then it wasn't that, hey, why did you do this? It was, how dare you do this? Talking to me like I'm a toddler. And that's totally inappropriate. And I'm done. I'm done. So I had no intention of looking outside. They've always been calling. But this most recent incident, when I'm down at the league conference and my peers are coming to me because the alderperson reached out to the league about that issue with the bid, and it's publicly and professionally embarrassing, especially when I've done nothing wrong, and I stand on my record for that. And you can say whatever you want, but when I'm on vacation, getting emails, texts, and there's no boundaries. Boundaries need to be established, and they should be channeled to the right time. So, good time for some self-reflection as a body.
I agree with that. We're gonna have to have meetings and see what we can do better to make everybody feel comfortable.
You've got an amazing city and you've got amazing employees, and I don't think, and maybe you have to take it, but the impression is that you don't appreciate that. And you should. Because I've seen a lot of other communities I've been invited to speak at and come in and do organizational work, and they don't have what we have. We're not in the newspaper dealing with, department heads and stuff, acting inappropriately and doing these things. We've got an amazing team of people, and you should appreciate that. And I'm not saying you give them the world or they're never backward. Pay and benefits are very good. City is competitive, but you have to take care of your people. There's more to it. And as discussed earlier today, the current generation isn't your long-term 20-year employees anymore. They're not staying somewhere 20, 30 years anymore. They're looking they want to be part of an organization where they feel valued and cared for, and that they have some importance to it, and what they do matters. And as I sit here, not being part of that generation, would not feel that way. And that's one of the reasons why I'm leaving. And I'm sorry, but the only reason I'm even staying until that is to take care of the staff. I wouldn't bail on them and leave. Because I love the people, I love the office staff, I love them like family. And the cops and the firefighters, we all work together. So that's the mind-boggling thing.
That's the first thing I ask. I hope you stay a couple months to make sure that
Yeah, of course.
we can all, and he was gracious enough to do that. I just knew this. It did not surprise me. I've been here 5 months, and it didn't surprise me. Because I noticed the change the last. Even when before I was mayor. Well, whatever, I guess we can't beat it down.
Hold on. Oh, you have a tiebreaker, you have a vote 2-2, so you're the.
I got a vote I have to vote to accept his resignation, of which I don't want to, but I've talked to him numerous times, he will not stay. So, motion by Broker, second by Fromm, to accept his resignation as Kiel City Administrator effective December 5th, 2025.
You did the vote.
You did? Okay.
You broke the tie.
Got it, all right. Sorry about that, but I didn't want to break that. Okay.
Donations.
Donations.
Significant donations this month came in, extremely gracious for the anonymous donations. We know where they are, but they insist on being anonymous. And then Mr. Gaines for the fire training tower, Amy for the fire training, Worcester Roads for the fire training, and then Saginaw for her generous donations to senior transport.
Motion to accept the generous and gracious donations as read.
Second.
Motion by Broker, second by Octa to approve all the donations as read. They'll be printed in the Kiel paper. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve receipts and disbursements.
Motion to approve receipts and disbursements.
Second.
Motion by Fromm, second by Broker to approve receipts and disbursements. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approve bills.
Motion to pay all bills.
Second.
Motion by From, seconded by Krieger to approve all bills, roll call. From,
Yeah.
Broker,
Yes.
Krieger,
Yes.
Actor.
Yes,
Motion carries 4-0. Yeah. Adjourned.
Second.
Motion by From, seconded by Broker to adjourn, all in favor.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. We're adjourned.
That's great. We're still live.